I want to thank God for his many blessings, how he's blessed me personally, how he's blessed my family, how he's blessed our church. And a couple weeks ago I was asked to give my testimony this morning, and I knew what God wanted me to talk about. And Tim got up last Sunday morning and started talking about faith. I was like, oh no, he's going to talk about what I wanted to talk about this morning. But he only talked about half of what I wanted to say. And there's a verse that I wanted to read. It says in Hebrews chapter 6, verse 12, that you be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. God's been working in my heart about having more faith, and it's something I know that we all need to work on is to trust God more, to have faith. And there's some things I was praying for. Some of the things God answered right away. Some things he didn't answer right away. It's something that I needed, something that I was important, and I began to pray and to ask God, okay, why? Why, he answered this prayer, you promised to answer all of our prayers, what is it that you're trying to teach me? And he brought this verse to my mind that through faith and patience, we inherit the promises. And if God always gave us whatever we asked for right away, maybe we wouldn't learn all the lessons that he has for us to learn, and we wouldn't learn patience, we wouldn't learn all the things. Maybe we wouldn't pray as much as we ought to. And let me just give you a quick story, an example of one of the things that God has been working on me. I had a car. It was a Saturn SL2, and I'd had it for several years, and it was getting old, had a lot of miles on it, it was wearing out. And I knew I needed to get a new car. It had started leaking oil, or actually it wasn't leaking, it wasn't ever any on the ground, so it was burning it. And also it was losing coolant, radiator fluid. Well, I had a mechanic tell me, well, if you better check and make sure they're not mixing, because if it does, your engine's dead in a few, quickly. Well, they weren't. They just were both somehow going into the engine but not mixing. But I was losing a lot, and I knew the engine, it wasn't going to last much longer. And I began to pray, God, I need a new car. And I knew God didn't want me to take on a car payment. He wanted me to pay cash for a car. And I didn't have the cash. And, it's like, God, this car is going to die anytime. God's like, patience. Just be patient. Wait on me. And so I did some research, and I found some stuff that I could put in the radiator that would, slow down the leak, didn't stop it. And I was, instead of going, putting, coolant in every couple of days, I was putting it in every couple of weeks. Well, then a few weeks ago, it got worse. And just about the time it got worse, I'm like, uh-oh, this thing's really Jeff, I don't know, it was a while ago, about some cars that he bought over at RJ Imports over in Pines, and I was able to go over there and get a nice used car at a reasonable price and fit my budget, and God was able to meet my need. I thought I needed a new car 6 months ago or longer, and God said, no, it'll last a little while longer. I'll make it last, and when the time comes when you need that new car, really need it, the money will be there. I'll take care of you. That's just a simple physical thing, but we live in a physical world. We live in these physical bodies, and many times God uses physical things to teach us spiritual lessons. So we need to have faith, but God's taught me that we need to have faith and patience.